Here we go, back again with another edition of the Sunday Bunch, and if you want that lovely, beautiful Sunday dinner, get yourself to the Carvery at the Hastings Hill pub. And again, thanks for George and the team for giving us a studio, top bloke. Right, on the panel today on my left-hand side, your right, we have Michael. Michael is one of the most intelligent people in YouTube with an IQ of 199. Mr. Michael Bowers! Mr. Michael Bowers!
Maybe take 198 off that IQ, but I appreciate that all the same.
And on my right, they've had a good rest for a week. The dynamic duo, never mind your Batman and Robins. You could have your Del Boys and your Rodneys, or your Punch and Judys. You can decide which one's which. We have Sean Middleton and Dean Elgar. Yay! And then, of course, on the panel, you need a bit of eye candy, but unfortunately, Philly couldn't make it today, so you have me instead.
Starting with a bang, aren't we?
Before we get stuck into yesterday's poor display in the second half against Portsmouth, we'll do a little bit of analysis on the Tranmere match where we just say got a victory on that quagmire of a pitch. And we're going to start the day with Sean Middleton.
Go on, lead the way.
I think the Tranmere game, I mean, the pitch was, Jesus Christ, it was, I think it's, this season we'll not play on a worse pitch than that. I actually felt sorry for the players when they were trying to pass the ball on the floor. They just couldn't, it was just bobbling all over the place. But I mean, there wasn't really much in the game. It just took obviously the set piece, Maguire, and it was headed by White for the goal. It was obviously 3 points. Obviously, I was happy about it, but like I say, that pitch was just
awful, wasn't it?
It was really, really bad. Like I mean, this is like when, and I'm in League One. We are, but still, you should be. Your ground staff should be sorting the pitches out better than that. Do you know what I mean?
Why do you feel sorry for footballers who get paid a fortune?
No, obviously, you tell kids when they're growing up and play football, they keep it on the floor and pass it on the floor, but you couldn't on that pitch. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, so the players were trying to control it, trying to pass it, and they just couldn't. I felt so sorry for them. But in the day, it was 3 points after the disappointment on the Friday against Dunkirk. It was 3 points. We got back to winning ways. And that was the main thing. We kept a clean sheet as well, but apart from that, I couldn't really. There wasn't much in the game really.
Well, Tranmere actually starting to play poorly now. They got beat yesterday off Bolton.
Bad result for them, though.
It was a 1-0 victory against Tranmere, against a poor Tranmere side that looks like they're going to get relegated. A good result, Dean.
Yeah, it's a good result because we won. Ipswich went there and barely won 2-1.
2-1, they scored.
So 1-0 down for large parts of it as well.
Let's give Tranmere a bit of credit where credit's due. They'll grind you, they'll make you work for the win. Fine, they got beat off Bolton, but Bolton's not a bad team at the moment. Where they are now is because of the league deductions. If they didn't have the points deduction, they would probably be about 4 or 5 points off being safe. So take that out of the equation. Fine, the pitch was awful. Instead of being muddy, it was sandy instead because they put loads of sand down. But we got the win. It was a set piece, which we're not the best at set pieces. White put his head on it. I think that might be the first header he scored in a Sunderland shirt. Maybe he actually put himself in the right position and actually beat the person to the ball, which he never does. Positives: we got the 3 points. We're seeing Bailey Wright come into the team, which is dropping Ozturk for that game unless he's injured. I don't see why you drop Ozturk, to be honest, if he's not injured. And I didn't see much of the game as I was at work, but 3 points is all the same. Doesn't matter how you get it as long as you get the 3 points, because let's be fair, for Joe, there would be more criticism on the team, but we're grinding out the win. Happy days, we moved on.
So, Michael, did you see the match? And if you did...
I saw about probably 10 minutes of it.
What was your thoughts on Max Power and George Dobson?
Are we going with the Max Power argument? Okay, well, I didn't see enough of the Tranmere game to really pass comment on anyone's individual performances, but like Dino said, it's 3 points is 3 points. Those are the type of games. Sometimes you've got to prove you can go and win ugly, and we won ugly. It was going to be ugly because remember that we stuffed Tranmere at the Stadium Light. It was never going to be that scoreline again. They're fighting for their lives down there. So, yeah, Charlie White got a header. That's a miracle in itself. 3 points. Just the other two have covered it. Move on to the next one.
But I thought Charlie White couldn't even run through that ground. He was stuck in the mud. It was like quicksand and glue for Charlie White. I didn't think it was a very good performance. I thought Tranmere were the better side for most of the match for me, and they had 1 or 2 good opportunities. They could have put us there. They could have put us to the sword if they were a bit more clinical up front. But like Dean says, 3 points is 3 points, and we move on to yesterday's match. Now Portsmouth away. Did I have confidence about being Portsmouth? Not really. I wasn't really confident at all because we never do well at Fratton Park. 1997 since the last time we won the league.
Yeah.
Like I said before, 10 years ago, this month, it was the Premier League fixture. But, Sean, that match yesterday in the first half, what was your initial thoughts of the first half?
Well, the first half, we're not going to the second half yet, but the first half, I didn't think there was much in the first half. We actually had a really good chance. I think it was the 15th, and that's something. It was Hume come down the left. He beat his defender, cut it across. It was an excellent pass to Maguire, and all Maguire has got to do was just put his foot through it, and it's a goal. And he just totally sliced it. And I mean, and that's all if buts and maybes. But if we score that goal, then it changes the game totally, because then they've got to go for it more. It's going to create space at the back. We didn't. Then obviously they got their goal. There was a set piece, which is disappointing, because lately I think we've kept 4 clean sheets. We haven't watched the goal back. It was a good delivery, but nobody marked Burgess. I think Willis was just ball watching, and he realised at the last minute Burgess was there, and by the time Burgess got his head to it, it was a goal. But it was just disappointing.
Do you think we zonal marking or marking man for man?
Man for man, I think Willis just got caught out, because watching the replay back, I was thinking whose fault was it. But then I didn't know if Willis was marking somebody else. And then he's just saying Burgess last minute, he's had to go and get him. Do you know what I mean? But no matter which way you look at this, it was poor defending.
No, I thought Luke O'Neill was marking Burgess, but I mean, Luke O'Neill 2 foot tall, Burgess 6'4". Who decides these things?
Well, Max Power seems to be the one what talk, but I mean, as a back three, I mean, you've got to communicate with each other and just see, I've got him and you've got him. You know what I mean? But somebody didn't pick Burgess up. That's obviously why he got the header. But I mean, I think it was 3 or 4 minutes just after that. I think it was talking to Dean downstairs there. They had a chance. I mean, to make a turn. What's his name? Is it Mark?
Marcus. John Marcus.
Like, he was through on goal because Bailey Wright went to clear it. He totally missed it. Marcus was through. He shot it, and obviously that would have made it 2-0, and the game would have been over. But to be fair, second half, I'm thinking, but he can change something round. I think White went off. I think he was injured when he brought Lafferty on. But, second half, I think that's got to be one of the worst displays. But you've got to give credit to Portsmouth, because I think Portsmouth, they're just like bullied us. That's the first time we've been bullied in the game, I think, for about 6-7 weeks. But if they were more clinical as well in that second half, it could have been 4-5-6. It could have been a really, really bad day.
And credit to John McLaughlin for some superb saves.
I was about to say, he pulled off 2 absolute unbelievable saves. John McLaughlin, if just minus there, the score could have been really embarrassingly.
So Dean, before the players go on the pitch, the manager must sit down and say, you marking this player, you marking this player. So if Phil Parkin sat down and said, look, O'Neill, you marking Burgess, what's going through his head at that point?
Your manager shouldn't have to tell you who to mark.
Why? Manager's in charge, why shouldn't he?
Manager's in charge, but he's not on the pitch. When you're on the pitch, the manager can only tell you certain kind of tactics. But you go like for like, who's the tallest, right? Who's the tallest on our team?
Lynch.
So you're saying that they ran on the pitch and everyone said, right, look, O'Neill, you marking Burgess, and start laughing at him and that. So what happened?
Someone's obviously went, I don't know if O'Neill's put himself on Burgess, but for me, it's your tallest. Burgess is one of the best headers in the league, probably.
You've got to get Lynch on him, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to get Lynch, because he's powerful. Willis, not Wright, because I think Wright's only 6 foot. I think the other two are taller than him. But even Mike, you know, someone who's going to be a bit physical with him. Not O'Neill. O'Neill's not a physical player. He's not. Don't get us wrong. He wins a lot of headers. O'Neill for his size.
But if you're going up against Christian Burgess, he's not going to win it.
Exactly. So when you're on the pitch, it's up to the players to say, right, you get him, get him. Either your leader on the pitch, so that should be Power. Fighting, get him, or your defence as a whole, because like you say, we were partly playing 5 at the back, might as well, because we didn't go forward that much.
So if Portsmouth's a big physical side and Ozturk's completely fit and he's 6'4", why didn't he start?
Well, we don't know if he's injured. Some on the radio they say is that before the Tranmere game, him and Parkinson were having long discussions, and that's when Bailey Wright came into the team. So if he's being dropped, do I agree with that? No, because you don't change a winning team. But maybe do you reckon there's a contract in Bailey Wright's in his there's a term in his contract saying that he has to play like we did with Lee Camp last season, because he seemed to play all the time even though he was absolutely terrible. So is there a clause in his contract saying that he has to play so many games?
You would think though if Bailey Wright, a championship player, should be able to handle League One once he's up and running and fit, and if he's over those injuries.
Yeah, definitely.
But was he getting his game at Bristol? Would Bristol send someone out on loan if they're in their first team?
I don't know. So what was your thoughts like on the first half compared to the second half? What went wrong?
First half, it was tight. We had chances. O'Neill hit the post. Very unlucky not to go in. I think Wyke had a chance as well, saved by the keeper. We're creating the odd chance. We seem to be passing it okay. Obviously, their set piece goal. It was a lovely header. Don't get us wrong. Poor marking. It was a free header. It wasn't even anyone challenging. It was a free header. So we're going into the second half. You think, right, we've got to be up for it. And we came out and we couldn't pass the ball. There was sloppy passing everywhere. I don't even think we had a shot on target. I don't even think we had a shot in the second half. It was just all Portsmouth. The bullied were. They seemed to want it more than us. And we made a couple of changes. Obviously, Lafferty came on and I think he was very ineffective. Semedo, what's his name? Semenyo came on and so did Watmore. I thought Watmore ran at the players, but his end product still lacks, as we've known this for years. And Semenyo, I think the first touch of the ball was at 90 minutes, 89th minute. He came on in the 70th, and the first time he touched the ball was in the 90th. So that just shows we had nothing going forward, and I believe our centre midfield gives we nothing. I think Portsmouth set up this all right. The only way we can actually attack teams is by going down the left or the right, because we've got nothing in the middle. Us having nothing in the middle doesn't give us attacking threat. We haven't got an attacking threat in the middle. So teams know, right, if we can stop them from getting crosses in and getting down to the byline, they've got no attack.
So before I move to Michael, what was your score prediction, Dean, for Tranmere and Portsmouth?
Well, I got 1-0. I said 1-0 Sunderland, so I'm taking that. And for Portsmouth, I think I said... Was it 1-0 as well?
You went for the same score.
I went for the 1-0 because I thought we'd keep a clean sheet, but we'd probably nick a goal. But we got beat 2-0, so I was wrong. But I got the Tranmere one right, so I'll take it.
What was yours, Sean?
3-1, and what was the other thing you went? Both 3-1 to Sunderland, so
both 3-1.
I was close.
we fully predicted for Tranmere. He said 4-0 away.
And then I believe no, that's not what he told us. He said he went 1-0 Sunderland.
It's wrote 4-0 down there.
No, I said 2 goals. 2 goals in the Portsmouth game. I
will also, I've reminded Phil of this so many times, but he did say after the last Sunday but we wouldn't lose a game for the rest of the season. So,
so before we move on to Michael's sort of analysis of the match now, but I'll ask you the question, if there's no bite in midfield, why doesn't he start Scowen, who's supposed to be a rat, who's supposed to be championship level midfield quality player, who can break up player, win player and pass it to the wide men? So why wasn't Scowen started yesterday or even came on at all?
I can't elaborate on that question. I have no idea why Scowen didn't start. I think that, obviously one of the first things he said in his interview was, I like to kick people, I like to really go at people, and I think in a game like Pompey, and for some not all, but some Pompey fans have a weird thing against Sunderland for whatever reason, and the players have done this in the past for whatever reason, so Scowen would have been perfect in a game like that. I have no idea why he didn't play. What you've said, asked the others for the first half. For the first half, it was pretty tight. We had some decent chances.
Nothing in it, really.
No, exactly. And I know Sean's saying they've put some moves, but yeah, he's right though. That if we took that Maguire chance, and I don't know how he didn't get that on target, do that. It's a different game. Yeah. It's a totally different. We might still have lost. I don't know. It's good to say in hindsight, but we.
You've got to be clinical,
exactly.
Get one chance in the game.
But. Like Dean, actually, the argument about does a manager tell players who to mark, or Dean, I'm with Dino, players should know themselves, take responsibility. That's why I keep saying it every damn week. Take responsibility and own the situation. Pick a man to mark and stick with him. No one was on Burgess at all. Why? Why? We knew what their threat was going to be going into the game, so why didn't we stop them? Both goals were from poor defended set pieces, and I felt there was a real lack of application after the second goal. It looked like to me like we just gave up.
Just folded. We folded.
So it's like, well, no, it's a big game in your season. Why have you given up after a second goal? It only takes you seconds to score, unless it's Charlie Wyke, in which case it probably takes him 5 minutes. But never mind.
Was it a collective decision to give up, or did certain players give up and certain players keep trying?
I think a couple of players just looked like they just lost belief, and that just spread throughout the whole team. That's what it looked like to me, anyway.
So do you think now, after 9 games of unchanged side and being playing a couple of games a week, likes of Maguire and Gooch, are they starting to get tired now in games? Do we give 25 minutes yesterday of good hard play, and the second half they were starting to look jaded and tired?
Well, put it this way, let's see if we're still tired next week when we play Ipswich when we've had a full week off.
Full week recovery, all right. Do you think? So we made this point yesterday as well. We're playing the 3-4-3, right? Is teams starting to figure us out now?
Yes.
As teams starting to figure us out, and they're going right.
Don't ask, they did.
And if that's the case, if teams starting to figure out, then it's up to Parkinson to change the tactics.
That's 2 games off the belt. We haven't scored. Well, no, Doncaster at home, and
it's two out of 3 we haven't scored in. Yeah.
But it's one of my points I was saying about Maguire. When Maguire as a poor game,
done his research here, Sean.
It affects the team. I think. And Gooch was pretty quiet as well. He'd been quiet last couple of games. If a couple of key players didn't have good games, and as well, we've got no plan B as well.
But are they being well marked? I mean, I thought yesterday, Portsmouth were the better side, full stop. You know, they were up for the match more than we did. They didn't bottle it. They didn't fold. They they bullied us. For me, that's why Scowen needed to come on and even start, because now Dobson and Power starting to look a bit one-dimensional in midfield, and Dobson's giving away too many silly yellow cards anyway. So I thought the best team won. Moving forward, what's your thoughts, Dean, on the central defence? Now, we all wish Joe Lynch the best. We all hope he recovers. You know, we want to see him recover fully. How do you move forward now with the central defence?
Oh, well, Willis will be in there. I believe Bailey Wright will be in there. And if Ozturk's going to come back in, for me, he has to, because we've kept the clean sheets when he's been in the team. And like you say, he's a no-nonsense centre-back. He's very physical. He might not be the fastest player in the world, but he gets things done. For me, Ozturk has to come back in, because I trust Ozturk more over Flanagan, even though Flanagan has been playing well. Credits where it's due. I think he'll stick with Willis, because you can't drop Willis until he gets either red carded or he's injured. Bailey Wright, I think he'll start most games now since we brought him in on loan, because he came straight into the team as soon as we signed him. And I think it'll have to be Ozturk. I don't know what's wrong with Lynch. Has he got concussion, fractured skull? I know he was sparked out, but is it a fractured skull? Is it concussion? Or did they just did it look a lot worse than what it was? Because obviously the stretcher came straight on and stuff like that. So hopefully all the best for Lynch that he can get back fit. But if he's going to be out for a while, for me, he's got to be Ozturk.
I mean, I rate Willis is our best central defender. Then I'd like Ozturk second. That's for me. I rate Ozturk over Lynch. That's just my opinion. And then I like Flanagan, and obviously Bailey Wright. The jury's out. We don't know how good he is. Don't know how fit he is. We don't know whether he can fit into the system and play good football. He's had 2 matches. How come he comes in straight away and starts and Scowen doesn't is beyond me. So, Sean, your opinion on the sort of, you said, got something to say to do with Willis, with Lynch yesterday. The referee.
The referee was like deplorable. I mean, when Lynch first got knocked out, the referee, he's got to get the emergency service on straight away, get the and the play still went on when Lynch was sparked out. I mean, seconds is vital. It's dangerous. And, you know what I mean? Seconds is absolutely crucial with incidents like that.
You're talking about someone's health and well-being.
Thankfully,
do you not think that? Because players dive all the time, like even when they don't get hit in the head and they just hold the head and roll around. Do you think that has something to do? They're like, oh, he's faking it. But obviously, you could tell he was knocked sparked out. He smacked his head off the ground. But the referee might have went, he's just like.
Well, surely the linesman or the
you can't take a chance. You've just got to stop the game straight away, you know, and then you'll be able to tell what's happened. But surely the referee watches the match. He could see what actually happened, and he just says, "Oh, he's all right," and starts playing the game. It's ridiculous.
Well, we all know the standard of refereeing in this league is not exactly the best. So
that's an understatement.
So, Sean, after that match yesterday, which 3 of the central defenders would you put in for the next match against Ipswich?
Well, as Dean said earlier on there, I thought Ozturk's been unlucky to have been. I don't know, we don't have the full story, but obviously he was talking to Parkinson in the Tranmere game. But I thought Ozturk, he's been playing well, mate. I think he's a no-nonsense defender. I think I would have Ozturk, Willis, and Bailey Wright. I think Bailey Wright, watching him like last couple of games, I know he's still not match fit properly, but he looks like he's composed on the ball, nice jobs to defend. But I think early signs are, well, I miskicked the ball as well yesterday as well. But I think he could be good. That's why I think it'd be Willis, Bailey Wright, and Ozturk. That's my.
Who would you put in the centre?
Jesus, there's a one.
Ozturk? As in like the 3 centre defenders.
Who would in the centre? I would see a Bailey Wright, because he looks like he's the one who's watching the last couple of games. He looks like he's the one who's going to bring the ball out of defence so he can bring it out. So I think it'll be like him in the centre and just whatever, Ozturk and Willis on the other side of him.
Michael, your thoughts on the central defence?
I think I probably agree with Sean in that's probably my back 3 as well. I think that Ozturk obviously had a rocky start when he first came to Sunderland, and since then I think he's been fairly consistent. I mean, obviously he had the odd bad game, but everyone in our squad does by the looks of it. So he's done consistently fairly well. I'm with you guys. I don't know why on earth he was dropped for Tranmere, unless there must have been something happened behind the scenes we don't know about.
Yeah.
But if
do
it doesn't,
it's to do with all the handballs. Maybe he's still
he should try to do the rule in the team I play in 5-a-side, where you got the high ball rule. He's high ball for the head. Can't play.
Do you not reckon it might be time for a change in formation because teams seem to be figuring them out. It's too easy. We've got two ways to attack, going down the left and going down the right. We've got no attack going through the middle. And if Lafferty's not holding the ball up, we've got literally nothing going forward. It's not hard to defend people coming down the wings.
I was seeing this a while ago. Even we're going for that good run with 9 games. That says eventually Power and Dobson will catch up with them too. Eventually.
So what's going on with set pieces, and why aren't we winning the set pieces? You got some stats there.
Stats. Aerial duels yesterday. This is, make of this what you want. But Lafferty 3 out of 13. Right 4 and 9. Power, max power, the max power 0 out of 7.
Sean Scapegoat.
That's diabolical.
Sean Scapegoat.
Wyke as well. Wyke none out of 7. Maguire none out of 2. Willis 6 out of 7. Not bad. Lynch 3 out of 3, he's 6'7", I think. O'Neill 10 out of 17, not bad, but that's not acceptable, especially when you're playing a physical side like Portsmouth. You know what I mean? They should know that they're going to be good at set pieces. You know what I mean? And if we play in that sort of system as well, a 3-4-3, and if we hook from the ball up to Charlie Wyke and he's winning like 0 out of 7, what does that tell you?
So if you got someone like Luke O'Neill who's not very tall but gives 110% passion, he can win over 50-50s. Outright, 50% plus winning like duels in the air. And you've got someone who's about a foot taller who can't win one single header. What's the point of him being on the pitch?
But this is the point that even I think me and Dino have said this before. Charlie Wyke does not win headers in the air, and for the size and height that he is unacceptable. How does he not win headers?
This is why I was shocked when he scored a header against Tranmere. I went, how's he there? How's he scored a header?
Actually, it was funny because I think it was a diving header that it bounced into the net. But either way, the fact that Wyke's won a header should not be a miracle. That's what we should be expecting every time he's going forward.
But I'm saying that's the system we play. You need somebody who's going to get themselves about and win some, and take the pressure off the midfield. But Charlie Wyke, none out of 7. It's not good enough. He just couldn't. There was loads of balls getting played up. He was losing it all the time.
Why are you not missing a trick here? Defenders in League One aren't exactly quick. You've got the odd one. Why aren't we playing a fast striker up front? Why do we have to have this big tall lump who tries to hold the ball?
But this is the thing as well. Charlie Wyke's touch is also terrible. Like, how many times did the ball come off his foot yesterday and it rolled like 15 yards?
That's what I was going to say. His control is unacceptable.
This system needs to have a striker who can hold the ball up, who's strong and who's got a good touch and who's got an eye for a pass. Our strikers don't have that. Lafferty might be that when he's fully fit, but
how long is that going to take?
Yesterday he was actually really bad. His passing, his hold up play, everything was really terrible yesterday. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he hasn't really played a lot of football. But I don't know why this whole we put a big lump up front. League One, you need some pace up front. It's not hard to play a through ball and someone like Semenyo to get on the end of it because defenders aren't the quickest in this league.
Let's move on to the forwards. And this is the forward line that we have. We have Charlie Wyke, Lafferty, Grigg and Semenyo. Semenyo hasn't played any matches at all hard. He's only a young lad, 20-year-old. We have no idea how good he is. Is he going to make it in League One? We're taking a chance with Semenyo. So we're left with Carl Lafferty. How good is he? Is he past his best? Charlie Wyke is just not good enough. Unfortunately, he's too nice of a bloke. Just criticise, and be nasty about because he's just a nice bloke. Doesn't want to put his head in. Doesn't want to put his body on the line where Luke O'Neill will give that extra passion, extra determination. And then we have Will Grigg, who wants to stay at Sunderland, who Phil Parkinson says he wants to fight his way back into the team, and that the formation of 4-2-3-1 didn't suit Will Grigg, but the formation of 3-4-3 will suit Will Grigg. So will Will Grigg get another chance, Michael?
Well, to answer that then, if you think that's the best way to play Will Grigg, then why is he not playing Will Grigg? Why have we been system with... Do you know what it is? We've slated Will Grigg countless times, but the thing is, I would have more... even at this point, I have more faith in Grigg scoring a goal than I would Wyke. Grigg might at least be able to at least occasionally create a chance for himself. Wyke can never do that.
So can Grigg not play?
I want to see Dino's look.
No, I'm not looking at that.
I want to see what that's... No, go on, hang on. I want to see what it's for.
Didn't look like that thing.
I wasn't looking at you for that. It was the statement Madam Mistakes just made. He'll fit into this system of a 3-4-3, but yet we hump the ball up to 6'4", 3 Kyle Lafferty. So how would Will Grigg fit that system?
That's got to be the new system that Phil Parkinson has to produce. Simple as. He has to have a B plan. He can't just be one-dimensional all the time. He's got to be able to change the tactics, surely, if he's managed to be managers all this time in different leagues.
The system we've got would suit Will Grigg if we kept the ball on the floor. That's the best way to get something out of Will Grigg. You get it to ball to his feet and get him in decent areas. But then Grigg's also got to do the legwork and actually try and get into decent areas and anticipate what areas there are going to be to give us a chance of scoring goals.
Could Grigg not even play instead of Maguire when Maguire falls out of form?
That requires Parkinson actually dropping someone.
I'm saying though, if Maguire, for me, Maguire was poor yesterday, and he was terrible against Doncaster. There was one position at Doncaster when he crossed the ball over. He was about sort of in between the byline and the penalty box. He was standing there, he crossed the ball over. It didn't go past the first man. The first man headed it back over his head, and Maguire was standing there picking his nose, laughing at Charlie Wyke, saying, "Sorry mate, sorry," laughing, and the ball was still in play behind him. Look on there doing fucking 20 yards to get the ball.
Go on, mad.
For me,
go on, mad.
That's the other side of Maguire, which I don't like. When Maguire's on form, he's fantastic, gives everything, but that's the other side. And yesterday, he didn't play great either.
What you just said though, like even to Maguire's defence here last season, there was a couple of times that Jack Ross showed the balls to drop Maguire, and he came back with a response.
Exactly.
So shouldn't Parkinson then think, right, come on, that wasn't good enough. You're out the team. Book your ideas up and get back into it.
So who do you bring in instead of Maguire? Who would fit in Maguire's role? Do you think at all Will Grigg would play that position, or is he just not going to be no good in that position?
Is Semenyo an out-and-out striker, or can he play on the wing as well?
On the wings, he can play on the wing.
In which case, why not try Semenyo? Apparently he's got a bit of pace and power. We're not going to know that unless we play him.
But going back to the system, I mean, 3-4-3, I think next Saturday against Ipswich we're going to have to mix it up and change it. I think he's going to have to change the team as well. I mean, teams are starting to figure us out now, and this is why you get judges as a manager, where you've got to change things up and use a different formation.
So the forward line, right? For me, I can't understand for the life of me why we let Mark McNulty go. I wanted Mark McNulty to stay. I thought the first half of this season he's one of our better players until he got injured. And he's been fit last 3 or 4 matches, even 5 or 6 matches. Why hasn't he been starting or playing? Mark McNulty, is that because the system doesn't fit Mark McNulty the same as Will Grigg? So now Mark McNulty's gone with Jack Ross up to Hibs. No, Hibs? Hibs, up to Hibs. Yeah. Have we missed a trick by not getting a good striker in?
That's. I mean, to me, I think that's one thing we didn't address. And I mean, didn't get us wrong. The transfer window, I think, it wasn't a bad window. We bought 5 players and we need to strengthen. But do
you think so? Do you think it was? I don't think it was a good window. I think we spent no money at all. We got 10 million on the table, haven't we? And we spent nothing. Undisclosed figure for scouting, 50 pence maybe.
I do honestly believe we need to bring a 20-goal plus striker in. That was for me the downfall. I mean, Liam Boyce, I know I mentioned it last week or the week before. I mean, he's a guy who can get you, 15 to 20 goals, and he wasn't going for much. It was cheap.
Yeah, 150,000.
So I think that was my one disappointment, because I mean, we're saying that Semenyo, he's got pace and he's got potential, but I mean, do you want to sign that Kazak Sterling this time last year? And I went, oh well, this could be a good signing, and he didn't get a game. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have Mark McNulty. I think he did start well, but if you're going to sign players and they're not fit and they're just getting injured all the time, you might as well ship them out. For me, like. So
Dean, did we sign Bailey Wright from Bristol City and Semenyo from Bristol City? So do you think they said you can have Bailey Wright, but you've got to take Semenyo as well and learn them a few tricks in League One?
Well, if that was the case, why did we wait till deadline day?
Because they had to get somebody else in before they could release somebody.
I think it was a case of sorry, mate. I think it was a case of McNulty was Hibs showing an interest, and I think if he was going, which I think he obviously was interested, that was the case of, well, if we can get rid of him, one out and one in, we can get Semenyo in.
Well, I heard Semenyo was the deal being done for a while, and it was just waiting until somebody came in for Bristol City so they could release him. And obviously, they said you take Bailey Wright, but you're going to take Semenyo as well. Does that happen?
Well,
possibly.
I'd hope we wouldn't be taking a ransom like that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Just to collaborate what Dino said, Dino made the point about Semenyo, and I'll argue this with McNulty. Well, then why did we wait till deadline day to get rid of him? Why didn't we just if he wasn't going to feature, then why didn't we just do it at the start of the window, and then it gives you a few weeks to bring another player?
Because we had to bring Semenyo in until Bristol City, possibly, I don't know, got somebody in, they couldn't release Semenyo.
But who said we had to just bring Semenyo? Why couldn't we have gone for someone else?
Did you want anybody else? Did anybody else want to come?
We went according we were going for Fleetwood's Josh Morris. We were linked to players all over the league.
This is what I mean, but it only happened on deadline day when realistically it probably wasn't going to happen.
Do you not think that teams do that? So they put you off who you're actually going to go for. So they'll say, right, we're going to go for Semenyo, but we'll say, well, out for Morris, well, for someone else, and it like deflects on who people. So because people want to nick your players all the time. Like look, the Doherty one. I mean, we didn't Doherty. We didn't get Doherty. We didn't get that. Was it Jordan Jones or something as well?
I'm disappointed we didn't get him.
Well, here's another one, right? Let's say if Will Grigg went on the last day, then Matt McNulty would have stayed for me. I think it depends on because Matt McNulty, I thought was decent. Will Grigg, Salford came in for him, but didn't want to lower his standards to League 2. He wanted to stay in League 1. So how would you play the forward line system now? If you were in charge, you were the manager, what system and what forwards would you play?
Well, you've got to stick with the same system, even though I feel like we need more going forward. I feel like we don't have enough going forward because you've always just got the same 3. It's always the same 3. It's always Wyke, Maguire and Gooch all the time. It's just them three up there. You need some more backup. So.
And if they're getting tired now, playing so many games, you've got to sort of give them a bit of a rest, haven't you?
Yeah, you do. I thought when Watmore came on, he made a little bit of a difference. He was running at players. He was, but the thing about Watmore, he's so lightweight. He gets pushed off the ball and he complains to the ref. Yeah. Just get up and get the ball back. Stop complaining to the ref. That's what I hate. I think getting rid of McNulty, I think we should have kept him. I really do. I think he's more. I would have more of a Greg any day of the week.
So you saw Kyle, you saw Lafferty second half, Charlie White first half. Which one was the better?
both just as bad. Both just as bad.
Well, you said Charlie Lafferty or Carl White?
No, we're getting about the strikers here, right? If you can get the best out, we have got a proven goal scorer there in Griggle.
For me and Matt were having this little debate outside before we came up. He says, "Would you give him another chance?" I was like, "No, he's had enough chances." I mean, to say that you'd fit in this system when we're humping the ball up, we're doing exactly the same in the 4-2-3-1. It's just we don't play the way Greg wants to play.
As I'm saying, you don't think we should try and just play it to his way a little bit and try give a couple of games?
I think he's just out of Parkinson's plans anyway. I think he's totally out of Parkinson's plans anyway.
If that's the case, why didn't we get rid of him?
We tried to, but he didn't want to go.
But that's what I mean. So Greg has a chance to go to Salford.
Oxford.
Well, here's one then. Salford was
Oxford
on loan.
couldn't afford to buy Will Grigg, and the manager wanted him, but the owner didn't want to bring him where Salford wanted him.
So question for the three of you then. If it was a choice on deadline day, you get good money for Will Grigg and you had the chance to sell him to Oxford, would you? Yes or no?
I forgot the money. I forgot good money, but then we'd have to replace him with somebody else.
I would get good money for him, but keep Mark McNulty.
I would have done that.
I'd say yes, because you've got no guarantee he's going to bang any goals in for Oxford. So I'd say yes.
So you're saying you would keep the system the same, and which striker would you put up front then?
Basically, it's one of Semenyo, Lafferty, or Grigg at the moment.
I know it's not really exactly I'm not like that. There's not many options there. God's sake.
If I had to answer the question, I'd probably go with maybe Semenyo.
Maybe Semenyo, because I just think a bit pace up there would do with the world of good.
And bearing in mind, Ipswich will be low on confidence. They've just been battered at home 4-1.
So would you not play Semenyo instead of maybe Maguire or Gooch and rest one of those two and then leave another forward up front?
I think if you're going, I think if you're going to do that, nice sleep there, boss. If you're going to do that, then why not play Semenyo? I do get what Dino's saying. We do not play it the way Grigg wants, but at the minute, I can't. Ultimately, we need someone who's going to try and score goals, and I think Grigg at the minute, whether we like him or not, is probably our best chance out of all the strikers of getting a goal and whatnot. But again, in order to do that, you're going to have to stop humping it and actually start playing the ball to his feet. That's what Parkinson's got to be addressing. Exactly. Why? So if you're going to do that, then for me, why not? Because we've got no other options, I'd keep Gooch on one side, put Semenyo on the other, and put Grigg up top. It's something different.
And keep the ball down.
It's something different.
The ball down.
Yeah, well, if we can. Obviously, I get hoofing it long if we're, say, 1-0 up and Ipswich are coming at, because there's going to be periods in the game where Ipswich are going to come at, then fine, I don't mind it there. But when your whole tactic is lump ball, long ball, and it just will not work time after time again, then you need to come up with something different.
And I said earlier on about changing the system, but to be honest, maybe I'm just
Do you think it's maybe changing personnel rather than the system?
Sorry, I know, so I'm going to say...
No, it's fine, yeah.
Obviously, I think maybe just keep the system, because it's done as well last 9 games, and that's one game, and Portsmouth are a good side, and they've unbeaten them. So keep this, but you're going to have to change it up, change the middle, either attack Dobson or Power out, one of them two. Bring in Scowen. You've got to start Semenyo next week, and just mix it up and think of the players that look at. If you're not performing, I'm going to drop you. I'm going to bring somebody else in.
Can I just make another point as well? I was saying obviously you have to change system. If we then change the system again, how long is it going to take for our players to adapt to that system?
Exactly.
And how many games are we then going to waste to try and adapt to the new system? We don't have that time now. We didn't really before, but we especially don't have time now to do that. That's going to waste about at least 3 or 4 games. Players trying to get up to speed with the system, by which point it could be too late.
I think Will Grigg needs a second chance. Every player deserves a second chance, and I think he needs a second chance with a different system. Even if you play like just the one game, see what happens, but give him a start from the very beginning.
He would need to do more though.
But we do need a better engine room in the centre of midfield. Now at the moment, Max Power and George Dobson are running out of steam, so we need somebody else to come in. For me, George Dobson gives too many balls away, too many yellow cards. For me, he's at a slight dip in form at this moment in time. So we'll start with Dean. Dean, would you continue playing Power and Dobson, or would you bring Scowen in? And who for?
I'd bring Scowen in. I'm sick of our centre midfield now. I'm sick of the no creativity, not going forward, not trying to take someone on, not shooting. I'm sick of the centre midfield not doing what a centre midfield should be doing.
Piss, on the
so for me, Dobson's on his 9th yellow card, so I might take Dobson out because of his 9th yellow card, and he had a poor game yesterday. But I think Power is just not doing anything for me. I know Michael has his different opinions on it. I just think he's just not doing it for me. I mean, passing the ball sideways and backwards doesn't make you a good midfielder. Making you a good midfielder is taking somebody on, shooting, getting on the edge of the box, running past your striker, not sitting and going sideways, backwards. Because every time he plays a forward pass, it gets intercepted or he loses the ball. So for me, I'd probably say Power.
Do you think that Scowen's slightly not fit enough at this moment in time? Because he plays against Leeds and they beat Leeds. He scores against Swansea when they win 5-1. So for me, if he's played 18 matches this season, hasn't played every single match. So has he lost a bit of form? Has he lost a bit of fitness, do you think?
I think it was just a case of, I think he tried to stick with the same side but beat Tranmere. I think that's what it was. I think Scowen, I actually thought Scowen would have started, to be fair, but I think Dobson... I've never didn't really rate him anyway, and Power, as you all know, I don't really rate him, but I think the two of them, I've been saying this a while, eventually them two was going to catch up, and I think that was the game yesterday where you can see the frailties and how bad they really are.
Do you reckon this is the end of Grant Ledbetter, by the way? We're bringing Scowen in, that means Ledbetter's going to be off the bench.
So Sean, do you think that it's poor management that Phil Parkinson hasn't been able to see when Power and Dobson are not going to perform? Or they're getting tired, or they're not passing properly, or they're getting yellow cards, and they're bringing another player to spice things up a bit?
Sort of, but
if you can see it,
he's looking at the bench and he's probably thinking, well, I've got Ledbetter who can play, maybe he's 09, who can play in the middle, but 09's playing obviously the right wing back, so he hasn't really got many options. Now, I mean, that's why I said in the window, I think we need to buy 2 centre midfielders.
Don't forget, we've still got Ethan Robson there. We didn't lend him out, so he was
going to get loaned out, so I don't think he's even going to feature.
But can he get loaned out though?
No, not now. But that's what I'm saying. They were trying to, by according to the crack, they were trying to loan him back out.
I've made it clear in my opinions that Max Power, I believe, if you put him in the right team and have Scowen around him, I don't know why on earth he gets the stick he does. I mean, I know that he's not the biggest going forward, but again, you keep things like Sean said to me once, he rated McGeoch. McGeoch didn't do anything that Max Power didn't do. If that made any sense. I don't get the McGeoch's good but Max Power isn't. I don't understand that.
I just don't think McGeoch got the chance. I don't know why he didn't get
but in the games he played he didn't stand out.
Well, there was a couple
Power though.
Yeah, but wasn't
I think it's
McGeoch
been quite a good few games where Power stood out.
McGeoch being one of those clicks we don't know about. So central midfield, if Bailey Wright comes in, who's not supposed to be 100% fit, who's had injury problems, but he gets a start, why isn't Scowen getting a start over either Power and Dobson? And what would your central midfield be, Michael?
For the next game, Power and Scowen. Fair enough with Dobson. I don't get why Scowen didn't start. He scored. I know obviously anyone can score a screamer at any given moment, but Scowen is someone that's meant to be a box-to-box midfielder or whatever it was and actually get us driving up the pitch. So why does he not start? If Parkinson, I'm pretty sure you would agree. If Parkinson does not start Scowen next week, there's something wrong.
There's something definitely wrong.
Championship quality player down to League One, he should start. Sean,
I'll be surprised if we 2 or 3 changes next week. I mean, in the centre midfield, Dobson was absolutely diabolical yesterday, but I've never really written him anyway. I think he just runs around. He's got energy, but there's not really much. He kind of passed the ball. He just puts a tackle in, but going forward, what's the offer? I mean, Max Power, he's the Pointless Power. He's the captain, so he's not going to get dropped. He's in that team no matter what. I don't know, So it's going to be Power and Scowen. It's got to be on Saturday. It's got to be them two.
But if it was your way, what would you do?
Well, if it was my way, I would mix it up.
Out of the midfielders we've got, who would you start if it was your choice?
Scowen and Power. It's my 2. Scowen and Power.
Ethan Robson. Now, what's the thing of bringing him in with Scowen?
Because he was going to be kept. If we didn't get a wing back, a left wing back, Declan John. If we didn't get him, they would have put Robson as a left wing back.
Could Ledbetter not come in to get John? At least Ledbetter, he's a good.
No, that's
no. We're too slow as it is. Right, we're going to move on now. Sorry, we're out of time a little bit, so we're going to move on to the transfer window now. We asked the panel here what their thoughts of the transfer window was, and was it a good transfer window? Was it a bad transfer window? And did this £10 million that we have from the MSD, is it there sitting in Stuart Donald's back pocket? Is he going for a pint with it? Because he spent diddly squat on the transfer window at first. Now the dust settled, I'm looking at the the transfer window, Bailey Wright, loan. Kyle Lafferty, free. Josh Scowen, undisclosed. Not much.
Right.
Semenyo, loan. Declan John, loan. Declan John could be a good loan signing. But after that, we let Mark McNulty go, we've let McGeoch go, and obviously we're pleased that McGeady's gone. So we'll start with Michael. What's your thoughts on the transfer window?
Decent window. I think, well, if you're looking at the players that we obviously did sign, I think Bailey, if you're going to play with 3 centre-halves, you needed another centre-back, so I'm happy that we've got Bailey Wright. I'm happy with Semenyo, but this is purely based on what I've heard. I can't really judge him properly until I've seen him play. Semenyo's got a bit of pace and power apparently, which is good. Scowen, obviously someone who's supposed to be half decent championship quality, or at least lower end championship quality, fair enough. But the big, I mean, Declan John, fair enough. I just see him as second fiddle to Denver Hume. But if he's going to challenge him, that's what we need. The big thing though, we didn't get a goal scorer.
Do you not think that Declan John could be better than Denver Hume, seeing as though he plays for Wales and he's had some good quality, higher level?
Well, maybe, but I think Denver Hume's been one of our best players this season.
Well, and as one of the points I was going to make just quickly about Denver Hume, he's crossing.
His crossing does need to be worked at.
His crossing's terrible, It's terrible.
But I think when we keep talking about driving up the pitch, though, there's amount of times
he's brilliant. He gets in some class positions, but that's the thing. What lets him down is
but
the
then
crossing.
if Declan John comes in and does better than that, then fair enough. But ultimately, the biggest thing was we said what's our top goals? How many goals has our top goal scorer that's got this season?
Jesus,
and who is it? Then?
I don't even think it's a striker.
It'd
probably be the Gucho Maguire. That's probably 5 or 6 goals. There's the problem. Why did we not go out and address and get a goal scorer?
Marks out of 10.
7.
Sean, your thoughts
window.
on the transfer window?
Well, first of all, we got rid of McGeady. I think that was a plus.
Only on loan though, so temporary measure.
Got rid of him.
Had this discussion at work, and he's saying, "Well, are we paying a percentage of the wages?"
We have to have been.
I mean, Charlton's just got new owners and they're in the Championship, so I would hope that they're paying all these wages to the end of the season. But I mean, who knows? Looking at the players we've brought in. Obviously, Bailey Wright, I think that's a good signing. I'm not sure about Lafferty. Josh Scowen, I think, could be a good signing. Semenyo, I think, could be. Declan John could be. But as you just made the point there, Stuart Donald spent absolutely fuck all. But he wasn't going anywhere, to be fair, because he's wanting to sell the club. But hasn't he been wanting to sell the club for the last 2 seasons or something? So
Has he been here 2 seasons?
Mark's out of 10. I would give it the same as Michael. I would give it a 7 because I know you were saying, well, he hasn't spent any money on anyone. Namaste, but I think you can get the right players in actually for free or on loans.
In League One, you can.
It's decent, but I mean,
we did last transfer window.
If he had any ambition, he would have went out and got a striker.
Ultimately, sorry, I'm not cutting into Dino's time here, but for the window, Donald has probably got players and they could be good. Why not just go and get players who will shoot you into the top 2?
Mm-hmm.
Dean?
Bailey Wright, I don't know much about some of the players we've got. Bailey Wright's a good player. He's from the Championship, so you can't say no to a Championship player.
You say it how it is. What's your gut instinct?
Good instinct. That's what you're trying to say about. You said don't say how it is.
Excuse me?
You're sit in the fence.
Sean, join forces against bad mistake. What are you saying, lad?
Kyle Lafferty always says there's something about him I don't like. Someone says at work, with Parkinson as manager, something will blow up along the lines with them too, which wouldn't surprise us. Josh Scowen, Championship player, don't know much about him, but he's a Championship player, give him a try. Semenyo, I've got a feeling he's going to be another Kazenga Sterling. I think he'll just...
Can I say something?
Yeah, come on. In my time,
Why are we saying that there was 10 million to spend, right, when this 10 million what came in, right, from the Americans was only to go to the upkeep of the academy and stuff like that?
Not all of it. Not all of it.
Wasn't
that right?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Well, I stand corrected. Okay, I kneel corrected.
Anybody in the comments? Anyone in the comments know any better than us? Please tell us.
Can I finish off first?
Yeah, go on then, Dean.
Right, I think Semenyo will be another Sterling. I really do. I mean, he's come from Bristol City. He was at League 2, Newport County or something like that last season. So we'll have to wait and see with him. Declan John, we were supposed to sign him last season, didn't materialise. Hopefully he could play on the wing as well. Give Gucci a bit of a run for his money, maybe, because he's got a bit of pace about him. Transfer window, it's mainly loans and frees, isn't it?
Out of 10 marks?
5.
Do a minute now.
I mean, don't forget we got rid of Mark McNulty. We got rid of McGeady, but it's only on loan, so that means we're going to get him back. That's going to be another. farce next season. You know what I mean? What's going to happen with McGeady next season? Because we're going to get him back unless Charlton want to sign him, which I highly doubt.
I'm
going to give it 6 out of 10, and Wayfully is correct. 3/4 of the money is to spend on the upkeep on the stadium, but there's still a quarter of that money was to go on transfer kitty to spend on players, and I don't think we've even scratched the surface money wise, because we're getting rid of some decent players who we're not paying money for now, just being swapped for other players to basically. I know it's not all doom and gloom. We are in 7th place, 5 points off second place, with games in hands on some teams. So it's in our own hands still. We can still take this league and still get in the top 6, get in the top 2 easily. So we'll move on to before we move on to the Ipswich match, what was your man of the match yesterday?
What was? Good God! I'll just by definition go McLaughlin just for the save he made. That's it.
John McLaughlin for me too. Shawnee,
but only because everybody else wasn't good. You've just won more headers than Charlie White.
Do you know what? I'll probably say John McLaughlin as well. Then 2 saves was unbelievable. But the rest of the team was awful. Like,
I'm going to say John McLaughlin too, because no one mentioned the save he made where someone blatted the ball off our Bailey Wright, and it came at him 100 mile an hour and he saved it. But bearing in mind them games in hand, teams have got games in hand on us now, man.
I know. Yeah. Only the teams below us in Portsmouth, we have 2 games in hands over Peterborough,
Coventry
and a game in hand.
Coventry and Portsmouth, who are right above us, got games. Although I did look when we play Rochdale in a week and a bit's time, because we'll play Rochdale a few days after Ipswich. Coventry and Portsmouth play each other.
Do you know what?
So straight away,
you got to look as well. Portsmouth are really starting to play well. They're unbeaten at home. It was going to be a tough game. I mean, we've 9 games of being undefeated. It's just one game and it dust it off and just lets.
Well, I've said that the Doncaster draw makes it look a lot worse, because if we won that game, it would be 2 points.
If we'd have won,
with it drawn, it makes it look a lot worse than what it is.
The biggest thing, I mean, I know Pompey's obviously home records there for a reason. They're a very good side at home. I am disappointed that we didn't get a point. I didn't expect to win it, but I thought we could have maybe nicked a point if we were at it. But how we respond from this is what's going to determine what we do.
Did we go about it the wrong way yesterday? Couldn't we went there and said, right, let's play for a point? Why did it have to be so open?
Because he would have slated them off.
Not against Portsmouth, they were in form, unbeaten at home.
I think if we just had played the way we've been playing lately, like the games that were
which, to be fair, in the first half we did, but once the second one went in,
if you could play the way we've been playing lately and being grinding results, looking solid at the back, but it just set pieces would have looked so frail, didn't man?
That Tranmere pitch will take a lot more out of your legs than any other pitches. So that should have been addressed for the match yesterday. We're going to be tired. Only Wednesday, 2 days recovery is not enough for some of those players who've been playing every single match.
Well, here's a question for you then. Pompey, I'm sure, played on the Tuesday. Do you think that extra? Am I being?
They played at home.
I know, but I mean, am I being a conspiracy theorist, or did that extra 24 hours make a difference for Pompey?
There's a point in that as well. Massively. I was watching stream.
I might be talking rubbish here.
I was streaming the match yesterday, and it's always their company. So when I watch the matches, always when the away games, if I kind of get there, it's always their company. And Dean Head and Guy Whittingham, they mentioned that the next 6 weeks they've got 2 games a week coming up in the next 6 weeks. So that could affect them as well.
Right, can we beat Ipswich on Saturday? Michael, what's your score prediction for Saturday? And would you change anything?
Phil's having a meltdown on the camera
here. He's getting ready for the 5-a-side.
Curse point, rest in peace, ball of paper. Paper ball. Okay, Ipswich. Things... It's a hard one. I think we can beat Ipswich. I mean, look, Ipswich have lost their last 2.
Just tell us your score, man.
No, I'm going to rumble, man. Okay, 2-1 Sunderland. If we respond properly, we should be fine.
And with your amazing IQ, would you change anything?
Semenyo and Scowen straight in.
Boom, nice one.
Same system, them 2 straight in.
And that, for me, had a moment, right? I'm going for 4-0 to Sunderland.
Go, get.
Hey. Who are you changing to do that? Who are you changing? Who are you bringing in to make that score prediction 4-0?
I think obviously you've got to bring Scowen in. I think he'll definitely come in power, and he's definitely going to play because he's the captain. I would change Maguire because he's been a bit poor lately. I would keep Gooch even though he hasn't been playing great lately, but he's got that bit of magic, what we're saying down MK Dons. So I'll make 2 or 3 changes, mix it up, and bring what more in. But the defence, I would also obviously Lynch is hopefully he's alright. I'll bring Ozturk back in.
Dean?
What do you reckon about this, right? I think it'll be a 1-0. Actually, no. I think it'll be a 0-0 because we're not scoring goals. We're not scoring goals at the minute. I think we'll struggle against Ipswich because they're a good team. I think a 0-0 against Ipswich will be an alright result.
They've got big form on the weekend,
And Peterborough actually are a good team. What do you think about this? Bringing Declan John in, pushing Hume further up, So that makes Hume
Change your system
like a
now.
winger, basically.
basically a winger, because obviously we always say he's defensively. That means John comes in, Hume got a bit of pace there. Either put Gooch on the other side and drop Maguire, or keep Maguire. Bring Scowen in for, say Dobson, because Dobson's on he's on 9 yellow cards. I think he needs a rest. You've got to bring Oster in because Lynch is injured now.
Yeah.
And up front,
No, I was going to
Wyke,
say,
Lafferty.
Is Wyke injured now, or is he going to be okay?
I think Wyke's injured. I think Wyke
did he
will be
dislocate
injured.
his shoulder?
Well, this might be a chance for Will Grigg. You know what I mean? Could be a
Nah,
chance.
I think it'll be Lafferty.
Yeah. Well, who would you start up front? Who was your choice?
Probably Lafferty.
I'll give Will Grigg a chance.
I'd give Greg just because I think he's simply the best chance we've got to score, and if Semenyo plays on one of the wings.
Last night didn't look very good, did he? When he come on, Jesus.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win at Sunderland. I think it will go a 2-0 lead. Ipswich will come good towards the end, get a late goal and put us under squeaky bum time. But I think it'll be 2-1 to Sunderland. I'd bring in Scowen, drop Dobson, and I'd be tempted to bring in Grigg, but it's not going to happen. He's going to start Lafferty full stops. That's what's going to happen. Mr. Wee Philly, what's your score prediction?
3-1 Sunderland.
3-1 to Sunderland. So there you go. It's not all doom and gloom. You've got loads of games to play at this moment in time. I still feel confident because there's a big break now. We've got 7 days rest for this team to recover. So hopefully Maguire and Gooch can get a good night's sleep and recover, get the legs rested after the Tranmere match. But after that, it's game in, game out, 2 games a week. That's when your squad has to come into play.
Guys, I also point out that 4 of our next 5 games are at home.
Exactly. So we need 12 points.
Yeah. And we need to go down to Oxford and get something as well, really. Preferably a win.
A good draw down Oxford. I'd say 13 points in the next 5 matches. What's your thought?
I'd take 13 points. If I was offered 13 points
take
now,
your hand off for 13 in the next 5 matches.
What's the teams are playing again?
Oh, you haven't
Okay.
Okay.
Ipswich.
I need to know the fixtures.
Right. Ipswich at home, Rochdale at home,
Win.
Oxford away.
Win.
Oh, okay. Bristol Rovers at home,
Win.
Fleetwood at home.
Win.
No, he's
You go for 5 wins. Sean, can you feel his temperature for us?
Win.
He's fucking
Feel his temperature.
Why not?
Why can't
15 points.
why can't he beat Fleetwood? Why can't he beat Rochdale? Why can't he beat who else?
Bristol
Was it?
Rovers.
Bristol. Why can't he beat them?
Oxford away.
Right.
I think we'll win Oxford.
Can anyone at Sunderland AFC, can you record Dean's little inspirational speech there and play this to the players?
Stop giving him stick because he's
We love the confidence on this panel. We want confidence on this panel. I'm with Dino. Dino! 15 points!
Dino! Like I said,
That's too much to drink last night.
like I said, the gap to second is still 5 points. It's top 2 still in the making, but we've got to go and take it if we want it.
I've noticed with Dino though, when he has his Sunday lunch at Hastings Hill, he's much happier on the panel.
That's a good point there. I didn't have it last week.
I didn't have it last week.
Hastings Hill. Give Dino Sunday lunch every week, man.
Right, thanks for watching the Sunday Bunch today. Thank you to Michael Bowers. Watch his YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the bloke, top
Thank
man.
you. Please.
Thanks to Sean Middleton.
Twitter, subscribe me to Sean Middleton.
And Dean, what are you on?
I'm on Twitter, but if you want to follow us, and anyone follows me.
Well, yeah, everyone loves Dean.
He's on
And
Instagram,
He's
Facebook.
called the Pants Man. What's your name on YouTube?
Skid marks.
Just look for Dino Elgar 40 and it should come up.
So please subscribe to the channel. We much appreciate it. It's free to do so. Please comment on the video and like the video. We don't care if you like us or not. But thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next week after we've beaten Ipswich.
Come on.
Falafel, you know.